Hello again from Metro Manila, the Philippines, Southeastern Asia. So this video teaching's topic, I try to make it short, is how God fights against and defeats the heresies and deceptions, because there are many millions of Christians worldwide who in their ministries and personal Christian lives are much focused on these deceptions and heresies of various kinds. And most of them are really sincere and wholehearted Christians. And I appreciate their concerns and their ministries. However, I see some potential dangers. Some of them focus so much on these heresies and deceptions that they don't emphasize enough God's total control and Jesus Christ's victory, which he already has accomplished. He just will consummate it through his second coming, so that it will become totally visible to all, even to the worshippers of the devil. And then also, it's difficult for me to fully rejoice or to see how Christians can fully rejoice in the eternal victory of God through Jesus Christ, and at the same time be deeply focused on these heresies and deceptions. Well, for one thing, ever since Satan, in the form of the serpent or snake, deceived Eve to eat of the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil in the Garden of Eden, which happened thousands of years ago, ever since then, deceptions and heresies have existed on the earth. Has God been powerless to fight against or to defeat them? No. He has rescued many people, many millions of people from them in the ancient and modern times. And God always has a strategy. God always is ahead of the devil, because God knows exactly everything right from the start, right from the creation all the way to eternity. So beyond the last judgment. So rather than being overly focused on these heresies and deceptions, we should above all think about what God is doing, what God's strategies are. So when God sees, or actually foresees, because he knows the future, these heresies and deceptions, he designs plans to empower enough Christians, both lay Christians and those who are either formally or informally ministers of the gospel, to preach the Bible faithfully, and not just to preach it, but also to practice it. And he will empower enough people to, for example, establish small groups, Bible groups, evangelistic groups, Bible-based and Jesus-glorifying charismatic groups. And in various different sectors of the society, he will empower enough of his true followers to be witnesses for Jesus Christ, and by their words and by their actions to counter these heresies and deceptions, while lovingly calling even on these heretics and deceivers and people who don't realize that they are heretics and deceived people, to turn or return to the true faith, to the true gospel, and of course to Jesus Christ. And he sends revivals from time to time to different places, to different regions and countries, even continents, because he wants to gather at the second coming of Jesus Christ to heaven as many redeemed individuals as possible. And he will not just barely win Satan, he will totally win Satan. While it is true that many people will end up in hell, probably a majority of the humankind, it is also true that many people, numerically many people, at least billions, possibly and hopefully even tens of billions of people, will end up in heaven. And because of that, we should not be despondent when we see so many heresies and deceptions, of course, we should do our bit in countering them, not just to teach what is right in the Bible, but to live it as well. Because the number one thing in the Christian life is not to be outwardly in favor of the right doctrines, even though that is wonderful, but also to live wholeheartedly and sincerely as followers of Jesus Christ. So with these reflections I close, and I really hope and pray that all of us will try to live so wholeheartedly for Jesus Christ, not to just outwardly practice the correct doctrines and preach them and witness them, but also to live as his faithful disciples, so as to be human agents in the process whereby he will still save many people, including many who are now heretics and deceivers, and the people who are sincerely wrong, who don't understand that they are heretics and deceived people. May God have mercy on all of us.